I'm Raye Lynn Mercer, and this is Talk Talk Boom, coming to you from Franklin, Massachusetts, home of the Franklin Performing Arts Company at the Black Box. On Talk Talk Boom, we'll share with you candid and entertaining conversations about all things related to the performing arts. Today on Talk Talk Boom, I'm happy to spend some time with a prince of a guy, New York City actor Mike Cefalo, who is currently starring in the Franklin Performing Arts Company production of The Little Mermaid. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Raye Lynn.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Good. Thanks
Happy
for
to be
taking
here.
time on your day off to be here as a guest on Talk Talk Boom.
My treat.
I know you're in the middle of The Little Mermaid and doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
My first question to you is, you just closed a Broadway show.
Yes.
New York, New York. And how do you suddenly find yourself in Franklin, Massachusetts?
Honestly, it's one of those very fun New York is a small town stories that has brought me here to Franklin. I was at the gym one day and the fabulous director of our production, Chris Rice, Broadway and TikTok's Chris Rice,
yes,
came up to me on the weight room floor. For those viewers at home, I was pushing some really heavy weight. You know, life's all about the gains, getting huge here. But anyway, Chris came up to me at the gym and he was like, "Hey, I'm directing this production of The Little Mermaid. How would you feel about perhaps playing Prince Eric?" And you know, Chris is a friend, and I know that he is like so passionate about like theater, but Disney in particular.
Disney, please.
So I was like, oh, okay. So to do a Disney show with one of like someone who I later learned by doing this show has an insanely creative and impassioned vision for this, it was a dream come true. And I'm so glad I'm here.
Fabulous. Well, we're glad you're here too. It's always fun to have new people. This is the first time we've had this many out-of-towners as part of one of our productions. So this has been really
it's amazing, especially with a cast of 42.
Yeah, it's a big group. It's a big ensemble.
A lot of fish in the sea.
There are. That's correct. There is just no end to the puns in this show, are there? No, absolutely not. All right, so tell me about child Mike Cefalo.
Okay, child Mike Cefalo.
So who is he?
Oh, he was rambunctious, and my grandma used to love to tell this story about how I would like sing at restaurants anytime we would go out to dinner as a family. And
where did you live?
I come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
From Pittsburgh.
From a very large Italian family.
Okay. How many siblings?
I'm an only child, but big extended family.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, loved the spotlight on me from my parents, and it transferred professionally. So thanks, Mom and Dad. But my grandma was always the one, like when I would like annoy my entire family and sing at restaurants, she encouraged me to keep doing it. And then my parents put me into like an extracurricular theater troupe when I was a little kid. My first show ever was Honk Jr.
No way. Okay.
And from then on, I kept doing it, sometimes to their dismay, because it's a loud hobby. But
it is a loud hobby.
They're my biggest fans. And,
you play instruments as well.
I play a lot of instruments.
You made a lot of noise in the house.
I make a lot of noise. Still do. I was playing piano while you guys were trying to set up the.
That's okay. We like the music around here. But what other instruments do you play?
So I play piano. I play some saxophone, guitar, ukulele, and I had to learn a lot of instruments to play live on stage in Broadway's New York, New York.
Yeah. So what were the added instruments, and will you retain those skills?
That's a good question.
Kind of like cramming for an exam?
My career as a promising tuba player is going to pan out for me, but I can confidently say that I played the tuba, the ukulele, the melodica, various percussion instruments, and so many more that I'm probably
legitimately in time, played the notes, the whole thing?
In front of thousands of people.
Wow. All right, that's impressive.
A couple times.
A couple of times. Fantastic. Back to your childhood and growing up. So what made you decide that theater was going to be it? And perhaps from high school to college?
Yeah.
You know, we have here, not only in our theater company, but over at the School for the Performing Arts, so many students that are trying to make their decisions on whether to just take this with them to college and have fun with it, or whether to try to pursue it. And what was that decision-making like for you?
So growing up doing theater, and it's great that I'm interacting with and working with so many FSPA students, because I'm kind of seeing like mirror images of what it was like for me at the time. Like, for instance, Ada, who plays Flounder in our production, we're doing a show and, she's off stage and done with her act or whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm like working on like chemistry homework. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly, I had no free time and I loved every second of that. But like, I was always doing theater extracurricularly or whatever.
I mean, we always promote the fact that students learn how to manage their time.
I mean, it teaches you how to manage your time and be efficient. And I don't think it would stick if it wasn't a passion, right? And we have, like so many people here bringing this show to life every night. So it clearly is a passion, because you have to come right from school and then do a show and then get your homework done during and after.
During and after, or first thing in the morning.
But, fun fact, I went to Catholic school for most of my life. And during my freshman year of high school, it was clear that like the music theater departments were lacking, underfunded, which is a major issue. We see a lot nowadays. But it became clear to me that, I wasn't on the football team and whatever, because I loved to perform. And we came as a family like to the decision about it. It's like, okay, well, why don't we try like the public school, which my mother was deathly afraid of, cried on my first day.
Oh, she cried.
Of course, I was excited. But I went from like a graduating class of like 17 to one of 700.
Yeah.
Which was a major life change.
That's a different experience.
But I went to a school district which luckily they treated arts the same as they treated sports.
Wow, that's unique.
The funding was it's a very unique situation, but the funding was there. And I stepped onto a stage for like the high school musicals, which honestly to this day, the budget and production value of those have rivaled and beat some professional theaters I've worked at. So thank you, North Allegheny Senior High School.
Yeah.
But at the time, I felt like I was doing the coolest thing in the world, which, doing musicals is the coolest thing in the world.
Well, of course it is.
But it made me think about it in a very different way. And like I said, like they treated it as well as they did sports and athletics. So you train your body and you train what you're doing to a high level, especially as like a teenager. It's what you do and what you live and breathe. And, I do have to like thank my parents. If I didn't have supportive parents who were also like brutally honest with me, I always, when people ask me about this, I always say like, if they didn't believe in me or think I could do this maybe professionally, they would have never, ever, ever let me pursue this at a collegiate level or do this as a career. So I'm very grateful that they did that for me, especially the senior year. It was definitely a conversation. And my mom was like, why don't you just be a dentist or do a double major? And we learned that like the double major is not really possible.
Not in musical theater.
Yeah, I mean, you're stuck with 18 credits in college of theater. But I'm so glad I chose that path. I ended up at Baldwin Wallace University. And they had a really great program that I think put us on a very good track and prepared us in a deep way to land in New York City and work.
And Baldwin Wallace, not a class of 700.
No, Baldwin Wallace class of probably like 15 students.
Yeah,
maybe,
so you
maybe
kind of return to that small setting.
I've been reminded a lot of my college days being in Franklin. The town vibes are very similar. Being on campus at Dean.
Right, we have some college students in this production, so
has reminded me a lot about that, especially, having college students that are majoring in musical theater in this show. Like in college, we were lucky to have partnerships with a couple professional local theaters. And in addition to a very extensive workload in school, got to have professional training and work during our college years.
What was freshman in high school, Mike? What was his dream role at that point?
Oh boy.
I love to see if it lines up with.
I honestly think freshman in high school Mike's dream role was Frankie Valli. Still a dream role.
Okay.
Still have never done the show.
Okay. All right.
But you know, that was like the first professional show that I saw where I kind of saw myself, the music I listened to and liked to sing, represented on stage.
Yep.
And it was the first time to be like, oh, I could do that thing that I'm seeing when I saw the tour of it. And yeah, it definitely was like, oh, okay, this could be a real job.
This could be a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is.
Yeah,
right?
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Amazing. All right. So we always have a lightning round, or rather,
bring it on.
We're going to do this or that.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Outer space or deep sea?
Deep sea. Little Mermaid.
Dine in or take out?
Dine in.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
Okay. Cole Porter or George Gershwin?
Ooh. George Gershwin.
Okay. Glass full or half empty?
Full.
Yeah. Make your bed or not?
Make it every day.
Flotsam or jetsam?
Ooh, flotsam.
Fabulous.
I wasn't expecting that one.
Okay, well, there's always, the last one's always mean. I asked
How can
Clay.
you pick your favorite eel?
Yeah, I don't know, especially when they are quite alike.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, well, it's a commitment. All right, so when talking with students, I think the advice quite frequently is that if you can see yourself doing something else, probably a good idea not to pursue performing. If you can see lots of other options for yourself, you may not have that drive, that passion, that full-on commitment to pursue this, because it ain't easy, as we know. But if you could put all that aside, what else could you see yourself doing?
I think if I could put all of that aside, there wouldn't be a world where it wouldn't be in the arts to some degree.
Okay.
I've taught piano and voice lessons and acting coaching in the past. I also own and run a company that does voiceover for theater actors that want to get into voiceover.
Oh, cool.
So I think that there are so many avenues. If you're not performing, that I would like to do. I would love to get behind the table, maybe direct. That would be really fun. Yeah, I don't think I truly can't think of myself doing anything else except maybe pursuing my ultimate hobby, which is very snobbish manual brewing of coffee. I could run
snobby coffee.
Yeah, I could see myself running a cafe that would charge you $9 for a pour over and would offer absolutely no sweeteners or anything, any baked goods at all. Just
the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll be looking for that to pop up somewhere to give it a try. Fantastic.
$12 latte.
Whoa. I'm not a coffee drinker. How much is tea?
There will be no tea on the menu. I'm sorry.
No tea on the menu.
I will have.
I won't be welcome there.
What's your tea of choice? Because I will have stock reserve under the counter exclusively for you.
Yeah. Harney and Sons Paris is my tea of choice.
It's in the Amazon cart.
Fantastic. Where would you live if not New York City? Where would you like to live? Can you picture yourself if not New York City?
If I didn't live in New York City, and I'm not going to give preference to my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because of course it would be a dream to live with my family.
Okay. I love to hear that. That's awesome.
Of course, but I do think I remember the only time I've been somewhere that I have said I would live here instead of New York was Austin, Texas.
No kidding.
Yeah. They had a very warm, welcoming feeling.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really been to Texas before, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was an incredibly alive and electric city with this stunning, very curated visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
It was the land of neon signs and live music everywhere you step.
Yep.
And cowboy boots.
Oh, well then. I mean, really.
Trifecta.
Right there. I have, I'm a townie. I've have lived here my whole life, but the one place I've visited and have the similar feeling for is Lexington, Kentucky.
Love Lexington.
It's so beautiful, and of course, I have another life in horses, and so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that sometime.
Okay.
But Lexington is another place that's beautiful and has a theater world. The Lex Company is there, and it's you drive out of that beautiful little city and you're in horse country. And
I didn't know that. One of my best
place.
friends is from Lexington, and I got to spend some time there over the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to ask him about horse country.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Absolutely. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you on stage? I love this one, right?
Oh, dear.
Do you have to ask me that?
So this is
some of the answers are always really.
This is a story from my youth theater days.
Okay, we'll take it.
But my mom loves to tell this story to embarrass me.
Oh, sorry.
But no, it's
you're going to tell it on yourself this time.
It's on the record. I was doing a production of The Wizard of Oz when I was probably in the 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
I played the Tin Man.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, and the great sequence where they change back into Kansas folk at the very end of the show when she wakes up. There's a quick change, of course, in the theater world. Have to take off the silver makeup, take off the suit, and become a farmer in like 30 seconds.
Right.
And the three of us playing Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion are back there in a little changing area in total darkness. And I accidentally put on the wrong pair of jeans, which belonged to the actress playing the Scarecrow, who was significantly smaller, shorter than me. And I walk on stage in skinny jeans that I can't believe I could squeeze even my ankle into. And so I tried to do my blocking of kneeling down to like say hi to Dorothy.
No.
Jeans rip.
Oh.
And 4th grade Mike is red-faced on stage.
I see that. And who's in the pair of pants that falls down?
Oh, probably her. I was too concerned trying to figure out how to walk in those things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there it is.
And I'm so glad on that note that boxy cut loose jeans are back in. Yeah, so never have to worry about that ever again.
No, that's not going to happen again. All right. So back to The Little Mermaid. And was this so are you a Disney Disney fanatic, or just someone who appreciates it, or someone?
I'm someone who appreciates it. I think my dark secret kind of slipped out to some of the cast members our first week here. Yeah. I don't know if it's gotten to our director Chris Rice yet.
I will not tell him.
I haven't seen a ton of the animated Disney films.
Okay.
And so many people have been on my case these days, and I'm committed to taking in the entire Disney canon this year.
Wow. Okay. I think you should catalog or
maybe I'll document this.
Document it rather.
This could be a good spin-off podcast.
Yeah. Give us a review of each of them as you go.
Done.
Okay. Fantastic. But, so many, the princes of all kinds seem to have some fairly standard qualities and standard backgrounds. Standard elements to their stories. They're handsome. They're, they're attractive in all ways, and
I got to commend you for going against type and hiring me.
No. And there's always the father king. They're not sure they want to step in to take the crown or step into the proverbial shoes, and the princess who somehow needs to be saved. We can discuss that at another time. But what is unique about Prince Eric? Or what's unique about your Prince Eric?
I think the thing I like about Prince Eric is that he's kind of at least the way I'm doing it, he's a goober almost. I think that there's a lot that's really funny about the Kiss the Girl scene. Like, I feel like in any other prince princess story, this hero is gonna just come in and get the girl,
right?
And then you have this beautiful, perfect knight, and this guy's just frozen. That's kind of funny.
I
think it's funny to see the shyness and the very real aspect of okay, how do I actually make the move?
Right.
Because
And it's
usually I don't have,
totally awkward.
usually I don't have to work this hard. Usually it's set up for me, and whew, it's a chilly night.
Yeah. It's totally awkward, and it's really fun.
And then you have like, it's like those elements juxtaposed with the fact that he's like this wannabe pirate, like just wants to be out on a boat, captaining the ship.
Yeah.
So I think it's,
and then he manages to fall overboard. I mean, yeah. Well, fabulous.
It's a little ironic he can't even swim. So
yeah, it is ironic.
I'll have to contact the writers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do get saved. She is there for you. So who rescues who is it's two-sided in this one. So that's great. All right. Well, what else about The Little Mermaid? What else about being in Franklin? Your first experience here, which I certainly hope won't be your last.
I hope not either.
What are some of your impressions?
So, I mean, I feel like I had the quintessential, most amazing welcome wagon ever, as did all of the out-of-towners for this production.
We love to hear that. We don't have a big budget in Franklin, Massachusetts, but
I got off the Amtrak and walked into the Harvest Festival. And
oh, right. We put that on just for you guys.
Just for us. But, I mean, you couldn't, like, think of a better way. You, like, literally step out and you're in, like, something that's adjacent to Halloween Town, right? Like,
small town New England.
A gorgeous New England small town, Harvest Festival happening. Everybody was so nice. And then you walk down the street a little bit, there's a booth with Little Mermaid merch. And I met so many people that I would learn are working on this show in various aspects. And it, I think, really goes to show how much of a big and warm family that FPAC is.
Well, thank you.
Especially because, I don't know, there have been times when I have worked at regional theaters before, and there are some small town vibes, and like local actors, they're a little apprehensive about having somebody come into their community and be a part of it. And I was really having this conversation yesterday. I was like, I was scared about that because sometimes that happens, and I was immediately embraced, as all of us were, which is, it's the best.
That's great. That's great. I mean, we've worked really hard growing the company to make sure that kind of thing wouldn't happen, that we'd be embracing the people we're lucky enough to work with and those who are happy to come from out of town to be here, while also hanging on to the small town element so that we can provide a different kind of an experience for
it's important for the community.
Absolutely. All right. In conclusion, Mike Cefalo, what is your superpower?
My superpower?
Not one that you would like to have, but what is your superpower?
Oh, I have a memory that sometimes baffles me how good it is. I use this superpower to like harass my friends or whatever. I could like name their like seventh grade teacher's dog's name.
I have a best friend that's been my best friend since the first grade. She does the same thing, but I find it handy. I'm not going to have to remember anything.
It's handy, and it's definitely a superpower that I have used primarily for evil.
I see. I see. All right, well, maybe there'll be a point at which you can put it to good work instead.
Maybe one day.
One day. All right.
For now, I'm having too much fun.
But not while you're here in Franklin doing The Little Mermaid.
No. No powers are coming out in here in Franklin.
Excellent. Well, I hope
Except the power to remember my lines.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. That's a good place to use that memory. We hope you have a wonderful second weekend.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to having you in Franklin once again. And thank you for taking the time to be part of today's interview on Talk Talk Boom.
Thanks for having me.